It's 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV for Thursday, August 10th, 2023. I'm Derek Gilbert. Reminder, we are back on YouTube, youtube.com/@5in10. Spell it out, FIVEINTEN, at 5 in 10 on YouTube. Subscribe, share, but then get our mobile app just in case to guarantee that we never get canceled from you. Details on that before the end of this program. Topic number 5 today, Coke at the White House. We're not talking about a refreshing soft drink. We are talking about the white powder substance found at the White House just weeks ago. This story buried by the corporate media, but Soldier of Fortune continues to pursue the investigation, even though the Secret Service has officially ended the investigation by saying, we don't know what happened. Well, according to sources that have spoken to Soldier of Fortune publisher Susan Katz Keating, they do know who that powder belonged to, and they told President Biden who it was. This is according to 3 security sources with direct knowledge of the story. Keating now is an award-winning writer and investigative journalist. So when you hear Soldier of Fortune magazine, don't think that this is some pulp fiction publication. Keating is well respected for her writing on military defense and security issues. She has previously written for the Washington Examiner, the Washington Times, and other mainstream corporate media outlets. Now, as the publisher of Soldier of Fortune, she's continuing her investigative reporting. Keating, by the way, has also reported from conflict zones like Iraq and Afghanistan. So again, this is somebody with some journalistic chops. All 3 sources told Keating independently that they know who it was and gave her the same name. Now, and they said this is somebody in the Biden family circle, but not Hunter. Okay? Someone known to the Biden family. President Biden knows who it is now, but it's not Hunter. All 3 are, belong to a U.S. government agency, but not authorized to speak to the media, which is why she's not naming these sources. Soldier of Fortune, by the way, Keating, posed the question directly to Joe Biden based on instructions from the White House via text message and others in the Biden family orbit. This is how it was described to her in the Biden family orbit. She texted Jill Biden, Hunter Biden, Ashley Biden, and Kamala Harris. Text message to President Biden returned as not delivered. No response from any of the other contacts either. One of the sources who shared this information with Keating told her, if you want the name, ask Joe Biden. This has been buried by the White House, and this name, if it ever comes to light, will never be officially confirmed by anyone with knowledge of the actual investigation. Again, the idea that they couldn't come up with a name, given that this was found in a secure area of the White House on a plastic bag, which is a non-porous substance, which means latent fingerprints probably on the bag. They knew within hours who it was. And again, President Biden, according to Soldier of Fortune, has been informed. Topic number 4, the economy. Yellow Freight, kind of an iconic name in less than truckload shipping, or LTL shipping here in the United States, shut down operations earlier this week, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy after failing to finance $1.3 billion in debt due in 2024. This leaves about 30,000 people out of work. It's one of the most prominent names in short-haul trucking. Yellow Corp, a company, accounted for about 15% of the LTL market. Last week, the company based in Nashville, which received $700 million in federal aid money during the COVID pandemic, announced its filing for bankruptcy and would cease operations immediately. This filing came after the Teamsters Union said late last month that it was notified that the company was going to cease operations. Yellow has been in negotiations, rather contentious negotiations with the Teamster Union over the last year or so regarding internal restructuring that was meant to boost efficiency. It recently averted a strike by the 22,000 workers represented by the Teamsters. But before resolving that strike threat, Yellow sued the union in federal court in Kansas, trying to block the strike, saying that the union's refusal to negotiate had pushed the company to the brink of extinction. For its part, the Teamsters blaming inefficiencies within Yellow for its failure. The freight market has definitely softened due to the economic downturn, what looks like an imminent, recession. There are those who would argue we're already in recession, but this failure of Yellow to solve its economic problems or financial problems Good news for other remaining companies in the LTL market like FedEx and Old Dominion. Topic number 3, speaking of transportation, the magic bus. If you're old like me, you remember the old song from The Who. This is not about that, but about another type of magic bus that was supposed to magically solve all of our carbon footprint problems, at least as far as mass transportation is concerned, as an electric bus company promoted over and over by the Biden White House has fallen into Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Proterra, based out of California, blamed headwinds in the electric vehicle industry for its failure. In other words, people just don't want to buy electric vehicles, not even for mass transportation. Proterra filed voluntary Chapter 11 reorganization to strengthen its financial position. Proterra had been boosted by Biden on multiple occasions since he took office in January of 2021. On April of 2021, Biden hosted a virtual White House event to spotlight Proterra's business. And during the event, Proterra executives took the president on a virtual tour of its South Carolina manufacturing facility. Biden also touted his support for billions of dollars in federal funding to accelerate the adoption of zero-emissions transit buses, school buses. During that tour, he set a goal for all buses to be zero emissions, all buses made in America, that is, by the year 2030. Well, Proterra will not be part of that mix if it does, in fact, ever come to pass. Earlier this year, he even appointed the CEO of Proterra to serve on the White House Export Council. Now, we should point out that Energy Secretary Jennifer Granholm, who we talked about earlier this week, you remember the conversation she had with one of China's top energy officials, high-ranking member of the Chinese Communist Party, just before the release of tens of millions of barrels of oil, the largest to that point in history from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, some of which went to China. Anyway, Jennifer Granholm was a stockholder in Proterra. Now, she has divested herself of that ownership stake, but still, it just makes you wonder, if I was a coincidence theorist, I would say just really coincidental that the energy secretary happens to have an ownership stake in a company promoted over and over by the administration in which she serves. Topic number 2, divide and conquer. The political game is intended to keep us angry at one another, dividing us into tribes here in these United States. It's the balkanization of America. The corporate media, to that end, continues to fixate on Donald Trump and his indictments, even when they have to go to extremes to try to make a point. For example, Al Sharpton on MSNBC actually said this as he commented on the most recent series of indictments against former President Trump. I'm quoting now. Can you imagine our reading that James Madison or Thomas Jefferson tried to overthrow the government so they could stay in power? End quote. Tried to overthrow you mean like the government of King George III? How is it that this guy still has a microphone? Well, it's because he serves a purpose for the corporate media, but more importantly, for the deep state behind the corporate media that enables him and other demagogues like him to keep us divided. Yes, Mr. Sharpton, James Madison, Thomas Jefferson are mainly known to history because they overthrew a government. Now, to be fair, it wasn't so they could remain in power, but I think you can make a good case that it's not so Donald Trump can remain in power, but to rein in the power of the deep state. But we can have that discussion another day. Anyway, coming up, Here Comes the Sun, and that's S-U-N, and as the Beatles sang, well, no, not as the Beatles sang, as I would say, Here Comes the Sun, hide. Tell you why next on 5 and 10.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, with just a few minutes on the clock, we want to make sure that you know how you can get your copies of both of these incredible new works in the Warriors of God special offer. When you order the Warriors of God special offer, you'll receive the Kingdom Warrior Full Spectrum Spiritual Warfare, Biblical Clearing and Maintaining Your Spiritual Perimeter by Dr. Michael Lake. But you'll also receive the brand new book by Corby Shuey, For Valor, Defending the Faith for Those of Worth. Both of these works complement each other fabulously and take you on a journey of next-level comprehension of spiritual warfare. But that's not all. Right now, when you order the Warriors of God special offer, we're also including absolutely free the phenomenal 2-disc collection on DVD, The Final Countdown, featuring Dr. Thomas Horn, Allie Anderson, and Donna Howell on how the secrets hidden within the biblical feasts unveil the final countdown to the return of Jesus Christ and the rapture of the church. But also included in this incredible special offer is Dr. Michael Lake's massive Sheer-Wreath Imperative data DVD library that includes 56 different Christian classic books on PDF for use on device of your choosing, Understanding the Kingdom audio series, the eSword biblical software for Windows, and several TV appearances featuring Dr. Michael Lake. All of these items hold a retail value of $95, yours now for your donation of only $35 plus shipping and handling.
Item number 1 today, the sun. That's S-U-N, which has been very, very active so far in 2023. In fact, the last few days, a wild series of events. On the 7th of August, the sun unleashed an X-class solar flare that is the most powerful, aimed right at Earth, caused radio blackouts all over North America. Space weather forecast also predicted another, what they call cannibal coronal mass ejection that erupted on the 5th of August. Apparently that missed, thankfully. But this sort of solar behavior is going to increase in the coming months as the sun is escalating towards the peak of its 11-year activity cycle. The peak scheduled to take place in July of 2025. The sun consistently spitting out daily eruptions for more than 18 months, but definitely ramping up. Since June and July, each month featured an X-class flare, again, the most powerful classification. In July, there was an M-class flare, that's the second most powerful type, every single day. And we're not even halfway through August, and we've already seen 2 X-class flares this month and M-class flares every day. This heightened activity by the sun, do you think that might have something to do with warmer temperatures? I'm just spitballing here, but do you think maybe global warming is caused by that giant flaming ball of gas in the sky? Just a thought. Skywatch TV depends on your support, and we do appreciate it. If you're in the U.S. or Canada during the month of August, for your gift of any amount, no minimum, any amount, we'll send you a copy of the book by Jonathan Brentner, The Triumph of the Redeemed. What can you expect when you cross the Jordan? Metaphorically speaking, what will life be like in glory? In other words, Jonathan Brentner takes on that subject in his book, Triumph of the Redeemed, and we'll send you a copy if you're in the U.S. or Canada for your donation of any amount to Skywatch TV during August. More information online, skywatchtv.com. Look for the red donate button, or log on to skywatchtvstore.com. Follow the link there, or give us a call toll-free, 844-750-4985. This week on Skywatch TV, we're talking about spiritual warfare. Dr. Michael Lake joins us as he talks about his new book, and the Kingdom Warrior, and how blessing the Lord is just a part of your spiritual warfare. Are you really prepared for the spiritual war in which we are all deployed? Don't miss these programs with Dr. Lake. You'll find our broadcast schedule online, skywatchtv.com/channels. You can watch it right now at Roku or Apple TV. If you've got the Skywatch TV channel there, make sure you've got that app installed on your set-top box. You can also catch the Skywatch TV main programs YouTube channel or our Rumble channel right here. Better yet, though, is downloading our free app. Why? Because when we're playing in someone else's playground, whether it's YouTube, Rumble, somewhere else that doesn't charge for the privilege, we're subject to their rules. But on our app, that's our playground. We will not be canceled from our app. So you get all of our video content there, a calendar of upcoming events, important news updates 3 times a week. And when you're watching the video content, you can cast it from your mobile device to your smart TV using Google's Chromecast or Apple's AirPlay. We've got apps for iOS, Android, and Amazon Kindle Fire phones and tablets. And to make it easy to find the device, or rather the app that's right for your device, We've got links to all of their app stores as well. You'll find that link in the top menu bar at skywatchtv.com. Again, remember, we are now on YouTube. If you use that as your main source of information, make sure you subscribe, youtube.com/@5in10. And until tomorrow, thank you for watching as we keep watch. I'm Derek Gilbert, and this is 5 in 10 from Skywatch TV.